Is it the truth that you'll be living tonight? We should take a walk, then a swim in the sea. That will mean everything, yeah, everything to me. Can we get out of this one? Waiting and missing. I never thought.
Hi everyone. Over the holidays, I was busy with some pocket boho journals, and I have made 7 of them, 2 coffee, 2 tea, and 3 wine themed. So I will give you a view of these front, back, and inside, and flip through one of each. They're sort of similar, and show you what I've done here. These are my coffee journals. They have a base of canvas that has a coffee print on it, which is mostly covered. I've stitched another piece of fabric from a different set, collection of coffee printed fabric. And I've got sari silk on the spine and brown velvet on the back. They're quite similar. Got this fabulous trim on the bottom with these beaded tassels. It goes all the way around both. And the sari silk cover on the sari silk closure on these, I believe this was coffee bean color at Victorian Gypsy. So going inside of this one briefly. The first page of the 2 coffee journals, I use this beautiful beaded applique onto silk that I got from a Etsy that operates out of India. Just beautiful colors, both on the silk netting on the back and these fabulous beads and rhinestones and such. And there are lots of drippies, lots of beads in these. Ruffles, danglies, some more beaded applique silk dripping off the bottom. Lots of fun little beads attached onto the tabs. And there are coffee cups and saucers on the tabs, and that's what the inside of the back cover looks like. So that's a peek inside the first coffee journal, and I'll quickly flip through this one. This also has a different piece of the same sari, beaded sari. And all of the little pockets, images that I've sewn on for pockets, have the tea-dyed index cards with washi and words and such on them. The digi that I used, the images for these coffee journals, is in my Etsy shop under coffee. Love my little coffee stamps. How you bean. Love a good pun. Some pretty beads. I love it when I can find string beads that goes with my theme that fades in color, that has different shades of a color. Just another index card stamped. Some pretty blingy silk trim there. The middle of the first signature in all of these, similar to the last batch that I did, has an extra long 2 tails of the strings after the signature is stitched in, and is beaded at the bottom to make drippings that will fall right by the spine when it's closed. It's a neat effect. Lots of room to journal in these. I didn't used to think that smaller journals were ones that I wanted to focus on writing in, but these lay flat, and they really have plenty of room to write in. Love that stamp. Be silly, be honest, be kind. Just different terms that are used for the coffee plant. And some more pretty drippy beads. And these are different words for the coffee berry, used in all different cultures, and I've just attached that onto the side of the page. And a ruffle. I'm still new at ruffles. I'm so proud that I figured out how to do that finally. Some more coffee stamping. This is an applique from an old crocheted table runner that I've been making doilies out of all of the pretty round pieces in it. And I've got some beading attached there for some more extra drippies out of the bottom. This is part of a page out of actually a cookbook with a section on coffee and how to brew fresh coffee. The cup and saucer there. Cream and sugar. And another insert clipped on with names for coffee itself. Nicknames, different cultures call it different things. Here's a nice big, beautiful tablecloth that Linda Earls sent me. Thank you so much, Linda. I have been cutting out the most beautiful. It has small flowers and big paisley type curls through it, and I have been sitting and just cutting it out, and it has the most beautiful pieces. Page of coffee colored fringe there. Here's a piece of beautiful sari, beaded, just gorgeous. Really pretty piece of sari. I just did some extra stitching through a lot of these. And there's the back page. And in the coffee and tea journals, this says, included in your journal, there's a U.S. postage stamp from my stamp stash attached to wax paper. It can be removed to turn into an embellishment of your own making, or even used as postage. I just thought those were so pretty. Although our postage just went up, I don't know how far that 5-cent stamp would send something. And some more stamping images back here. So those are the coffee journals. These are the tea journals, and they're very similar inside with the images and the words and such. Even the sari is the same daffodil color, but this one is primarily blue and yellow because of this fabulous fabric. It says the Blue Kettle Tea House. And I've got this light pale blue velvet on the back with the yellow trim. I love these beads. They're clicky beads. There will be no stealth journaling in these. And this one is, because of the colors that were in these butterflies and moths, I made it yellow and green. And it has the green velvet on the back. So we'll peek inside one of these. As usual, I left the sari extra long. I like it that way on mine, and whoever gets these journals may choose to trim it a bit, make it a little more manageable. I just love that big flowing look to it. So inside, some great drippy beads. I love this silk trim. Oh, I wish I could remember who sent that to me. It's just beautiful. And this is out of Sheila Gingrich's amazing package of bling medallions that she and CJ sent to me. I've had so much fun taking a piece out for each. And then on the tea, I used a fussy cut piece of lace from a different antique crocheted tablecloth. And there's a teapot attached there in a pocket. Some great tea cotton fabric that I've used to stitch in there. And I love these tags. It's just a piece of tea-dyed paper cut in the shape of a large tea bag with a piece of cloth that actually came from fabric that had little tea bags on it that I cut out, and I just put a daisy on the tag string. So there's another little drippy that I can add to hang out the bottom of the journal. So that is the first tea journal, and here is the Blue Kettle. Most of the images in these came from my Tea Time digi that's in my shop. But I used a lot of fabric in this too for pockets and for ephemera. That one is white tea. I didn't make all of them long enough to have the daisy fall out the bottom, but I think there's one or two in each journal that does. Little tea stamping. I keep coming across the term 11sies. My British friends who might be watching this, do you guys really have 11sies? Is there a tea or a meal or a brunch that you guys call that? Or did they make that up for American movies and such? I'd be curious to know. Love that picture. Little butterfly with a yellow charm there. I found my old, I found one of my beginning crafting bins that had been buried for a while with all of my fun paper punches in it. So I had a little bit of fun with a few of these journals here and there. I punched some pages. And little drippies from the first signature. Love the ceramic owls. You Are My Sunshine. I sing that song to my kids when they're upset. I'm sure they want to hang up the phone when I start to do that, but... And this postage stamp is a teapot instead of a coffee kettle. For this dripping to hang off, I wanted to put a wooden spool and some beads. I've used seam binding, and I've actually put a word right on the page and then put a little eyelet through it just to make a hole and tie that from. You could really go through a journal and do that to quite a few pages and have as many things hanging or suspended from the bottom of your pages that you might want. Pretty little blue crystal there. And some drippy beads, little ruffle. I love this ribbon. It looks like cross stitch, and I found it in both pink and blue at a remnant shop and cleaned them out. Thought that was so pretty. Here's some more tea fabric that I sewed in as a pocket. This is my favorite tea fabric. The whole thing is a grid, and going down and across in blocks it spells tea, and it has teapots. Couldn't figure out how to work them in, so I just took a strip of it and put it on a center page. So another little cup and saucer. There's the side fringe for this journal with lots of extra foofies in it. Little burlap hanging off the bottom. Some more drippy beads up here. These are some really pretty paintings with poems on the opposite page that I sewed into the books, the tea books. Another fabulous piece of trim. This actually came from Michelle Suget, who is Fabric Lace Inc. I've got that wrong. She's got a great Etsy shop. She sent me some beautiful trims, some great silk bling. I think that's my favorite picture out of that digi. Another great painting. This is actually a very long rectangular painting, and it was cropped for the book that I found it in. But this full painting, my daughter actually has framed, hanging on her wall. It used to be hanging over my mom's bed in her old house, and when she moved last, she gave that to my daughter. Another fabulous flower from Linda Earle's wonderful Happy Mail. Love that picture too. Did some extra stitching down the edge. And there's a little creamer that matches the cup and saucer that are in this journal too. A little pocket back there. So that is the tea journal. When I make journals, the stuffings, the things that go in the pockets, are usually the last things that I do, and embellishments. But for the wine journals, I did these first, and I had stamped using, I think this is archival potting soil colored ink. I had stamped the Tim Holtz wine ink stamps onto index cards, and I just looped a piece of sari over and stitched it to the page. I covered the stitching with some pretty wine-colored trim there. Just glued it on after I stitched this. And then I put one of the coil lists. It doesn't have a coil on the bottom. Safety pins through here and made a little dangly. The great thing about these is you can leave them in a journal as an embellishment, or the person who gets it can take it off the little attachment here, and you can pin this on your handbag, your lapel, whatever you might want, a little fun jewelry bling, and they all have the grape charm on them, purple colored. So those were my extra special embellishments, and I left those out to show you before I flipped through the journals. And these are the wine journals. I made 3. All of them have a great panel from this wine print that I found on cotton fabric, and I added a little extra trim along the top. And there is sari, a piece of sari that attaches the front piece to the back piece, and this is a burgundy. I don't know how well that's picking up with the light. The sun comes out, and then it's been snowing, and now the sun is threatening to come back out. I don't know what to do with lighting, so I don't know how well you can see the hues and everything. But that is, they're all quite similar. This sari, this color sari, was the very first sari silk that I went looking for. When I discovered sari silk, Wendy Connors Beckett had sent me a journal with a silk closure, and I wanted to get some, and I was looking for something in this color, and I searched for burgundy and maroon and dark red, could not find it. Once you know, it's called wine. This is a fabulous shade. The inside of each of these journals has a fabulous cotton print on that I've cut out select parts of and just made it the size of the front page so that each of those would have a cloth front page. The end pieces are from Tim Holtz Abandonment. He called it a Halloween paper. I think it's just really more boho than anything, and I picked up a whole stack of them because the color combinations on them are just really neat. So we'll peek inside this one, and then I'll flip through the last one. Again, this is more of that beautiful lace tablecloth. Some more of this fabulous Tim Holtz paper. And the third. Let me zoom you in just a bit. The trim on these also have beads above the tassels. They're clicky, but they're not as clicky as the full beads that drip from the tea journals. There's a little corkscrew charm there. Oh, I blew right past it. Look at this beautiful trim. This is actually like some gathered silky material that has these little tiny delicate beaded things. Somebody gave me a box of her daughter's crafting stuff that the daughter had long moved away and gone on to other crafty things, and she gave me her daughter's box of stuff and said, do you think you can find a use for these? And there were trims and buttons and beads in it. It was wonderful, wonderful little treasure. I love that picture. I used some, this is Dusty Concord colored ink. Actually, it's distress ink, not archival ink, but I stamped a number of things in here because I thought the purple went with the whole wine theme. Some fun fabric. It's got corks, wine corks on it. Yeah, it says Merlot. There's some little pinned beads dangling off there. You can't tell it because it's covered now, but I initially started out with a fabric underneath this because I thought it would be peeking through, and it's almost all covered. But that fabric is this, which had the purple burgundy wine colors and some dark blues and greens to offset it. I thought that was pretty. Some of my favorite tassels. This comes on spools at Hobby Lobby, and the flat part of it that you're going to anchor it with has a cable net stitched to it. It's really pretty and quite solid. It gives some structure to the edge of the page. Some grapes. No poem was ever written by a drinker of water. This is some really pretty sequined and beaded embroidered netting. Just really nice effect. I like that picture a lot too. And the ruffle is wine colored like the closures are. Life is too short to drink bad wine. Here's a little charm with some grapes on it. I love the monk down testing the wine. It's dark, it makes it look like he's in a wine cellar. This is a page out of that same cookbook where I took the coffee pages from. They had a few pages on wines and what wine goes with what meal and such. Some more stamping. This fabric, it's hard to tell because I've only used snippets for tabs on the side of the page, but it actually has grapes in between swirls of patterns on it. And here are some more drippy beads. And there we have it. So those are the wine pocket bohos. Thanks so much for joining me while I flip through these. And I am starting on a new batch of full-size boho journals as opposed to these pocket size, which are 4x6. I'm doing some 9x6 really big ones with the theme of the universe next. And I've even started loading digis for those into my shop now. I will put my pocket boho course on sale for another week, as well as the tea and coffee and wine digis. They're actually all in the kitchen, food, and drink section of my Etsy, and I'll just throw that whole section on sale for the week in case anybody's interested in creating their own of these. I appreciate you joining me, and I will see you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.